We are live. We are live. Sorry, folks. Trying to get my boat positioned because I have dropped the gill net. And now I'm just waiting for the rewards that the gill net brings. I know there is some other lives going on this evening. And I appreciate those of you who have dropped in. Fishing for Whiskers, Rhonda, thank you so much for coming in. Wow, we've already got 3 people. Thank you so much. It is just going to be me this evening. Sorry, I'll try to get down here. I got to keep an eye on where I'm going, though, because I'm next to the gill net, and there's a rule. I got to stay within a certain distance. But gill net is in the water. The good thing is, I'm sorry if I'm crooked. My, I wonder if I can fix that. There, much better. Gill net's in the water, bobbers are bobbing, so I know we've got something. The question is, what is it? I don't know if it's catfish. I don't know if it's bass. I don't know if it's, hold on a second. Just had a pleasure boater come out here at 90 miles an hour out of this creek mouth. And had his music blaring, so I didn't want to get in trouble for any kind of copyright infringement. But anyway, as I was saying, I don't know if you can see the buoys right there as we're bobbing up and down thanks to that pleasure boater that decided he thinks he's more important than everybody else. Back up a little bit. But let me see if I can help you out here. There is the gill net. Well, hello, that's me. There's one float right there. And you know how hard this is to orient. One float right there. And one float right there. Like I said, there's currently something in the net, but I'm going to give it to about another 10 minutes. Because my goal is to catch enough shad to fish tonight and enough shad for in the morning as we fish the awesome stand day. Got 6 people in here. Wildcat, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. Rhonda, Wildcat. I'm going to have some friends drop in. May not be in chat, but I just want to say hi to my really good friends, Amy, Tommy, and Dave. Some of our biggest supporters. Outside of our family, and I think my net is moving. I could be wrong, but I think my gill net is moving, which means I've got something big in there, or I got a lot of somethings in there. Because it's dragging. Let's see if I can show it to you. It's right there. It was up there about 5 minutes ago. So it's come all the way out here. What I might do is go ahead and pull it up. So I got to get my nose around. Pull it up and then drop it again. Hopefully I've got some shad in here. I know I've got something in there. All right, keep an eye on me while I bring up the gill net. Now that I've got the buoy, I'm going to drop this in reverse real quick, get my momentum going, stop my momentum going forward. have transitioned the gill net into a cooler, which I'm not sure how that's working right now. I do know that it's frustrating because these lids keep closing, but I'm sure we'll get it figured out. Well, I thought there was something on here. Not a stick. TV fish tonight. And that's dropped from the trend again. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the gill net is legal in tidal waters. So you just have to get an extra license for it. Wow, I got nothing. So now I have to go run this again. This is the frustrating part. I should have a single door lid on that. Got 8 people in here. Thank you all so much for coming in. We are currently, as the title describes, we are currently trying to catch some bait. I am on the James River. I'll try this spot one more time. And if I don't get anything, I'll move to a different spot. But you want to drop your gill net, obviously. That's well, not obviously, we didn't know that. At creek mouth openings, in the shallow water, going into deeper, about at an angle. As long as your gill net videos out there. I think Green Machine has one out there. A little farther up this creek here. See if I can grab this little shallower. Now I'll let you all come to me. Come to me. Ten people in here. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you all so much for coming to join us this evening. I know there's going to be a lot of lives going on tonight. I think Brian B's Midnight Madness is going tonight. But there you go. You didn't want to see my gut anyway. Thank you all for coming in here and spending some time with me. I'm moving up a little bit shallower into this creek mouth. See if I can find some shad. That's the whole point of, that's the whole point of the first half of this trip. The second half is going to be catfishing. I'm going to do some scouting for not just tomorrow, but next time we partake in Jody's Thursday night flathead challenge, because we have a challenge. Daryl from Trophy Seeker Outdoors has said that if we come into, or if we can participate in Jody's challenge again, we win again, then he will participate one more time. Well, maybe more than one time. He will participate again. Sorry. And he will want to see, because he has won 3 times that he's participated. He won 2 times that we participated. So he said, if we win again, we'll do a kind of a mini 1v1 during one of Jody's challenges. See who wins and win a 4th time. This is rough on my own. Much deeper than I wanted it to be. So what I'm going to do, hello everybody, I'm going to do, get out of these guys' lines. Sorry. I'm going to go up to the front part of the gill net, pull it up, back up into the shallow waters. All I got to do is go up here and grab this front bobber and back up and pull it a little bit. Hopefully before it floats away. We got 10 awesome people still in here. Whisker Dreams, CSW can't hear you. Oh, can't hear me? Oh, okay, I got you. I will fix that. Thank you for letting me know, Whisker Dreams. I appreciate that. Amy, how you doing? I'm gonna go grab this real quick. Give me a second, and then I will fix that audio issue. I'll get there eventually, folks. Thanks for hanging in with me. I know y'all are probably tired of seeing my backside. That seems to be all I show anymore when I do a live. Swing the nose of my boat around so I can grab that at an angle, at a decent angle. Get this back up a little bit. That's there. So, all right. El Catfish Grande, what's going on? Thanks for joining me this evening. Still got 9 awesome people in here. Let me fix that audio issue. And then let me get a little farther away from this shore because I'm awful close to the mud. I could have swore I had some in the gill net a little bit ago, so it's 6. I got a lot of text messages I wasn't paying attention to. Thank you all for stopping in. Like I said, the main goal, as the title describes, is bait for the first half of this trip. And then I'm trying to get enough bait for tonight and tomorrow for stand day. For hopefully Landon comes out with me. All right, let me get my trusty AirPod. I would say AirPods, but I lost one in the river. The river has taken quite a bit from me this year, but she's also given back in PBs. Oh, I got a guest. I didn't even realize I had a guest.
Dustin!
Catch some fish.
Can you see us?
I can see you. Hello there.
We've got a special guest tonight.
Hey, welcome.
Hi.
This is Max.
Max, nice to meet you. My name's Dustin.
Nice to meet you. Did you catch anything yet?
Not yet. I've got the gill net out trying to catch some bait.
Dinner's ready.
Oh, dinner's ready?
Dinner's
Okay.
ready. Darn it.
Uh-oh. You just got in here.
Max is my
We just started
sister-in-law.
talking.
I know.
Oh, awesome.
Here's Grammy.
And there's Grammy.
Hi.
We got the whole family.
I hear me.
Nice.
And Grace.
Oh,
You know that.
can't forget Grace.
Did you catch anything in the gill net?
Not the first net. Now, it looked like it, though, because it was bouncing, but there was nothing in there but a stick.
Gotcha. Are you at Ann Caro's or are you at Dutch?
Dutch.
Dutch, okay. All right, awesome. Hey, well, we're going to have to come back a little later because they're calling us for dinner.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in.
Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
See you, Dustin.
I will talk to you in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, it's just me again. Eric B., what's going on? Thanks for coming in. Now, fishing for, Whisker Dreams. If you're still in here, I'm going to walk the boat. Hopefully this AirPod allows you to hear me better. So, if y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. That way I know you can hear what I'm saying when I got my back to you. I know that's a big issue that I have that I really need to work on when it comes to live streaming. I'm not seeing these bobbers. All right. Thanks, Eric B. These things are not moving an inch. It looks like there's stuff all over the bottom here, but it's kind of muggy out here. Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate that. Hopefully this AirPod lasts. Like I said, I used to only use one at a time, but one day I was with Landon and I were putting the boat up, and we were up at the dock, and I leaned over to do something, and my right AirPod fell out into the river. I didn't have time to do anything to catch it. I just watched it drown. Hey, some old man outdoors. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate that. We are currently on the James River, searching for bait, more specifically gizzard shad, James River gizzard shad. As I stated before, some of you that don't know or haven't listened to two stands before, we are on a tidal river. The James is a tidal river up to Richmond. And on a tidal river, we can use a gill net because it's still considered saltwater, brackish water, I guess. There are some stipulations to it, and you do have to have an additional license, sticker, tag, whatever they call it. I don't know. It's only $9. It'll expire at the end of this year in December. No matter what time you get it, I think it expires in December. And then you have to renew it. Again, it's only $9. But what I'm doing right now is the gill net, if you can see it, is right there. And I have to be within 100 yards of it. Those are the rules. So this is my second drop on the gill net. The first time, typically when you see those orange bobbers, when you see them start bouncing, that means you got something. But I pulled it in and there was nothing on the bobbers. Nothing in the net. I'll go ahead and I'm going to give this one another. Sorry, I'm reading some friends of mine texts. My friend said he's got the Yankees game on the TV, the Brewers game on his laptop, Team Snag and Whisker on his phone, and he's sending a message on his iPad. That's what I like to call multitasking. That is correct. I believe 50 feet is the max. And that's what we have. I'll tell you a funny story. Sean and I were out right after Sean purchased the gill net, and we were so excited. This is a game changer. It really is a game changer if you know how to use it. So we went downriver up to a favorite spot of ours, and you know the gill net has bobbers on top, so they float, and then it's a weighted line at the bottom. And that weighted line is supposed to keep the net open. Well, what we also saw on the gill net was there's two long lines that look like kind of like anchor lines coming off of. Sorry, I'm just getting positioned a little differently. Like anchor lines coming off of the top and the bottom. We didn't think anything of it. We did not think a thing of it. So we went over there. We're like, yeah, this weighted line will keep this net open. We drop the gill net. We wait. Hey, look, the bobbers are moving. The bobbers are moving. We get all excited. We go over there. We pull it in. The thing's all bunched up, not doing anything. So we go. I think a couple weeks later, we talked to Two Stands from Two Stands Fish. We talked to Stan too, and he was generous enough to come out on our boat with us. And you know, in the midst of conversation, he said, do you have any weights for it? We're like, wait, the line on the bottom is weighted. Paul Boyd, what's going on? The line on the bottom is weighted, so that should keep the net open, right? He goes, no, you have to have essentially two anchors, or else the net's just going to float away. Makes sense, right? Didn't think of that. I'm going to give about one more minute. I don't see him bobbing, but give about one more minute. We're going to get the net, and we're going to move into a different location. I've got another location I like to use. Hopefully, that one has some shad in it, since this one, it doesn't appear to have anything in it. But anyway, so we find some rocks. He says, yeah, those will work in a pinch. So we tie some rocks under the anchors, anchor points, anchor lines, the ones that come off the bottom of the net. Makes sense, right? So we tie the rocks on there, and I'm seeing something jump up here on the shore. I may move my net farther up here. Anyway, we tie the rocks on, and Stan says, all right, where's your buoys? And we were like, what do you mean, buoys? They're on the top of the net. He goes, no, you need something on those two other lines at the top to keep it afloat, to keep it spread out. Didn't we look like fools? Oh, they're little minnows or shiners or something that are jumping. So we grabbed two of his bumpers, which is what we're still using, as you can see right there. And we tied the two bumpers on, and the first drop at this very location, we caught two gizzard shad. So excited. We went up to the city one time, and this was before our first venture at Pontoon Jody's Flathead Challenge, and we put that net in. It was in the water for 5 minutes. We pulled out like 18 shad. Oh, beyond excited, man. We had enough bait for 3 days of fishing. We had enough bait for that night. We both took some home and froze it. Sean took it on his first vacation. I took some home and I froze it for my next trip out. So tell you what, that was awesome. And there's stuff jumping all around my net. But I'm not seeing these bobbers move like there's anything in my net. What I might do is just grab this front. 13 awesome people in here. Thank you all so much. I think I might grab this front buoy. I think I'm just going to pull it downstream. See what we can get. Give me a second, folks. Of course, I don't want to pull it too fast. I was hoping to get all this bait stuff done before the sun goes down. So that's still my goal. But we'll see what happens. Does anybody else out here in chat use a gill net when they fish? Anybody else on a tidal river they can use a gill net? Got 16 people in here. Thank you all so much. I'll tell you one thing. Sean and I have been doing this for about a year now. Not quite a year. And that is the most people we had in a live concurrently. So thank you all so much. We really appreciate your coming in to hang out with us while we fish or attempt at catching bait. I got that brick. It's dragging across the bottom. All right, let me get this at a better angle. I know this is probably not the best way to do it, but in my boat, trying to corral this net. Back into the boat is just a headache. All right, so net is set. Let me get somewhere where I can keep an eye on it. There's looking like there's some stuff. I don't know if y'all can see. I know it's not a very good angle. I apologize. Looks like there's some things down there, but I don't know if that's just me or if that's 14 likes so far. Thank y'all so much. Oh, really? Yeah, I am not very good at throwing a cast net. I've tried. I taco it or banana it or whatever it's called. Very few times have I ever actually thrown it where it's opened. I've caught, I think, 2 shad with a throw net. So that I'm not very good at, but I try. But hopefully this reposition, we'll leave it there for about 5-10 minutes. There's some there's some massive marks. I don't know if y'all, let me get out of position. Y'all see that right there? There's something on the bottom below me. I don't have any bait to try to catch it, unfortunately. But that's okay. Tonight, we are currently out here. Well, the bobbers are bobbing now. We are currently out here to catch bait. That is goal number 1. Goal number 2, once I get some bait, I've got my 3 Ancient Mariner rods and reels with me, and I'm going to go upriver because currently the tide is going out. So I'm going to go upriver and chase some of the fish back down this way. I don't plan on being out too late. Excuse me. It's really going to be dependent on if I can catch some bait. But like I said, I still got about another 45 minutes before the sun goes down. So I've got another spot that I like to drop the gill net just around the corner, just around the bend from the mayor's house. So you don't know, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. The mayor's house, the power plant. I was sputtering around my gill net, trying to not get too close, but I don't want to get too far away either. I'll tell you what, one of the things that I've been most surprised about the James lately is the current flow. Like, I have not experienced a lot of current lately. We all know that, blue cats love the current, and it's been, hit or miss. I mean, I remember Sean and I were fishing the monster hunt from Palmetto's channel, and we were out by Hopewell, for those of you who know the area, George Point Marina, and I mean, we couldn't keep the boat still. He has an 80-pound thrust Minn Kota trolling motor, and he had that thing full throttle. And we were staying still, but it was full. It took full throttle to keep us in one place, and that's just crazy. But I mean, as of late, it's the current, and again, that's up here, upriver. We haven't been downriver to fish yet this year. We're probably going to head down that way towards late summer, early fall, to see, because we know that's where the big boys are. Creole, Florida living. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I've currently repositioned the gill net. I'm going to give it 1 more minute because I don't want to waste too much time here if the shad aren't here. I mean, I'm seeing stuff down there, but either they're swimming through the holes in the net that I haven't fixed yet, which is entirely a possibility, or they're just not in this general area within the 50-foot of net that I have strung across. I mean, I'm seeing it bobbing, but that just could be the waves, the wake and the current. So we'll see. I'll motor over here now, pick it up, put it in the cooler, and we're going to go around the corner to see if we can find anything else. If anybody wants to jump in here, I'll be more than happy. Oh, looks like we might have some winners. We might have some bait, my friends. Yes, we do. We got some. Now, the question is it a catfish? Is it bass? Is it shad? I have caught all 3 in this general area. But the bobbers, here, let me show you. The bobbers are going down. Oh, something is taking this for a ride. Hold on a second. Something is taking this net for a ride. I've got to get to this buoy before it gets too far, because yeah, that thing is moving. Something, it's probably a catfish. I probably caught that monster catfish in the net that was down there. Put this bad boy in reverse. Yeah, something was pulling that net. All right, let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'm going to see what I was talking about. There's the float we use. I'm really not going to like this. This cooler idea if I can't keep this lid open. I really hope that was something in this, because that net sure was moving. Unless it got out. So I'm not feeling anything now. Wow. Something was moving that net, and we got nothing. We got zip. That is just crazy. That was nuts. I have never seen that before. Something was moving that buoy, but whatever it was did not get caught. It's a dolphin. I hope it wasn't a dolphin. Now, I'm not far from where those dolphins were spotted up here in the James. All right, we're gonna go. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. I cannot believe that there was not any bait fish. Sorry, my battery in my phone is dying. I'm trying to see where my charger's at. We got 14 awesome people in here. Thank you all for joining me. Trying to get this bait in the boat before nightfall, because I wanted to move upriver for some scouting purposes, but if I can't get any bait, I'm just going to keep dropping the net. And because I've got to get bait. That was, my main goal for this evening. Oh, hello. Hope you all don't fall on me. There we go. Hope nothing falls on me here. I'll give you all a tour of my boat here shortly. It is not the cleanest boat. It's been hot out. Haven't had a chance to clean it since, or haven't taken the time, let me rephrase that, to clean it since it came out last with Stan. I'm not going very fast because I don't want the wind noise, but I'm not going very far either. So we're going right around the corner. Dead air Dave, to be honest with you, the dolphin that was spotted were that way, just around the corner past the 295 bridge, which is about half a mile east of here. So I know where most of you all are from. Creole, well, that's a silly question. Creole, Florida living. My guess is you live in Florida, but I could be wrong. Is that accurate? An accurate statement, or have you moved since you created your channel? And I'm going to ask another question. If there's anybody, or it's more of a statement, If there's anybody that wants to come up, I am going to drop as soon as I comment. Yeah, see, I'm doing the same thing everybody else does. I talk my way through it. All right. I just dropped the link if anybody wants to come up. Hopefully I see you as a guest. Yes. Awesome. Do you typically, Whisker Dreams, do you typically, Oklahoma. I was, I'll come back to you just a second, Whisker Dreams, because if I don't say this, I'll forget it. I was stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for basic training, AIT, and PLDC. I was in basic training in 98, mid 98 to late 98. And then I think I went to PLDC in early part of 2000, maybe late 99. Kayak Plus Fishing, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. We got 15 awesome people in here. We've dropped the gill net 3 times, 3 different locations, 0. I'm moving up to a different spot that I've caught some bait fish here before. So hopefully I can catch. My goal was to get 10 to 15. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that, but we're going to give it a shot. That's all we can do. So Jacksonville, Florida. Got it. I got family that lives in Florida. I know I have family that lives in Homestead. And I'm not really sure where the rest of them live. I do have aunt and uncle and some cousins that just moved down there a couple years ago. But I've been there. I had to go to my uncle's funeral. So I've been near Jacksonville, I believe. That is crooked. Trying to do this on a camera is crazy. Oh boy, I got a big cruise cuddy boat coming right in behind me. It's going to cause a big wave because they feel that they need to go 30 miles an hour. And there's other boats out here, and their wake they put out is bigger than a barge. It's crazy. I'm going to mute you all so I don't get any music infractions. Stand by. Check out this wake he's coming off. That boat put like off 1.5 foot wake, maybe 2 feet. That was just ridiculous. I'm originally from Albany, Georgia. Been in Florida for 10 years. Okay. I've got a lot of people I know that I work with that have moved from Florida to come up to Virginia. One of the reasons I hear is because they like to enjoy the different seasons. I hear the season is all the same in Florida. Fort Sill is 46 miles south. So yes, okay. Yep, I spent a good part of my military career in Fort Sill training. A lot in Oklahoma. And I do have cousins that live in Oklahoma City. They lived in Okmulgee, Oklahoma for a while. So I've been through Oklahoma. I've driven up. I used to live in Colorado. I'm originally from Colorado. So I drove one time to pick up my cousin from he was home in Oklahoma City from Christmas break from basic training, which was odd to me. I didn't know they gave people Christmas break and basic training. But anyway, I went to pick him up, and I had a map book, so I was a forward observer, and my job was to get from point A to point B, go out and find the high points, find the enemy, tell our big guns where the enemy was sitting so they could fire their big rounds and bullets and ammunition. So that was my job. So for good practice, I used the map book, and I guided us back to Colorado, where I grew up, where we were going for New Year's, through the panhandle of Oklahoma and north. Tommy, what's going on? She-Devil is here. For those of you that have just joined us, I've been running my mouth about Florida, Oklahoma, not catching any bait fish. I'm currently, like I said, I've dropped my net 3 times to no avail, but I'm moving to another location, and I'm going to drop it again, and we're going to see what happens. So currently the tide is going out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop, whoa, hello. I don't throw myself out of the boat first. I got you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the mouth of the upper side. So this is the mouth. I'm going to go over here, over here, where the current's coming in. So the bait fish are going to be swimming with the current and hopefully right into my gill net. So I'm going to drop it at a 45-degree angle. So right at those trees, and I'm going to try to back straight out. So if they come into this cove, they got to rest out of the current. They got to come right through that gill net. So that's the best of my knowledge. That's how I think it works. So it makes a lot of sense to me. Becca, Miss Becca Mudtramp, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. We have 14 awesome people joining us this evening for bait fishing. And when I say bait fishing, I got a gill net. I have a gill net with me. I am going to drop it in the 4th location. I have not had any luck yet, but I'm hoping the 4th time is the charm. So thank you all for joining me for bait fishing. So if I can get some bait, my plan is to go upriver and throw out some lines to anchor at different spots along the river to come back. I'm doing some scouting so that Sean and I can hopefully participate in Jody's Flathead tournament, and we will know where the fish are. That's the goal. So we're still learning the river. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot over the last year, 8 months to 10 months. But mostly it's the upper part of the river. So we're learning when to fish or where to fish during the spawn, maybe some more so the post spawn into the summer, and then into the fall. So that's the goal. We got to learn where. I'm seeing some marks down here. I really hope they're shad. So I'm in 9 foot of water. Let me coast up a little bit more here. I just hope there's no rocks or twigs or anything up here. The current is pushing me back, so hopefully it's going to help me. Yeah, there's something down here. All right, so hello. I gotta stop. All right, let me turn this around and let's go drop this gill net and see what happens, my friends. I do have to throw us in reverse. Oh, that cooler is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to get a new cooler for this. Is double lid jazz is not gonna work for me. All right, going backwards. That's the general idea. But for those of you who have been in here before with me, know that I've proclaimed my boat not the best boat to drop a gill net from, because I have a snap cover, and that snap cover has snaps. And those snaps cause, just like that, cause the net to get hung up. All right, we're doing good so far. Looking good. Oh, I got hung up there. Come on. Come on. I dropped the link if anybody's interested in coming up. I haven't checked to see if I have any guests yet. I don't. But if anybody wants to come in and maybe chit chat with me a bit, help me out while I got the net in the water, or while I'm trying to put the net out or retrieve the net with chat. You don't have to, but if then you want to, anybody is more than welcome to come in. I tell you, I'm happy with this deployment thus far. I've gotten hung up a couple of times, but nothing too major. All right. Let's stretch it out a bit. All right. Net is in the water. Let us see what this spot does for us. Looks like it's on a ledge, so it's about 9 to 10 feet. James Bailey, how you doing, Stu? 2 stands fishing. What's going on? Thanks for coming in. 18 people. Holy cow. I know a lot of you do YouTube live streams, but for us, this is exciting. We've never had this many people concurrently watching our live stream. So thank you all so much. Milestones, come in all different ways. And this is a milestone for us, 18 people watching. Thank you all so much for coming in. Hopefully we can pull some bait fish in on this ring. No. I dropped over there by the ramp, 3 different locations, nothing. Something was in the net, pulling the gill net. I went to pull it in, nothing. So I don't know if I have some big holes in that net, or if whatever it was too big to get caught in the gills and just backed up and swam away. 19 people. Fantastic. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Oh, I got a guest. Oh, hold on. I got a guest.
Hey, y'all.
I have a guest. Becca.
Yeah, but make me small. That way they can see the big, the big picture. Or you don't even have to put me on screen at all. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I'll help you out for a few minutes.
Thank you so much.
So what kind of bait are you trying to catch?
Gizzard shad.
Gizzard shad.
Yes, ma'am.
Are those good to eat?
I'm sure they are. I'm not really a big fish person myself. I know it sounds funny. I'm an angler, but I don't really care for fish that much. But I don't know, to answer your question, I don't know. Stan may know better than I do. I know he's in chat. But to clarify that, we are on the James River, and I don't know that I'd eat any fish that came out of the James River. Yeah, in this area anyway.
I was just curious because I do like to eat bait fish, as far as, like perch and, all that stuff. So,
right.
Hi there, Mr. James. How you doing? Mr. Creel, how you doing? Mr. Toastan says, no, they stink. Not good at all. They eat muck and algae and stuff. You mean kind of like a catfish? People eat those. Mr. James says, I haven't seen no shad at all where I fish, and it's usually loaded with them.
Yeah, shad have been hard to come by. I mean, Stan can attest. We came out here. I came out here about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and I think I spent 3.5 hours, and I dropped in 5 or 6 different locations before I finally got 2. I was saying during the shad run, Sean and I came out, and we were upriver, up by the city. We dropped it from maybe 5 to 10 minutes. We pulled in 18 to 20. So,
Fishing for Whisker says, can I just say they smell bad even fresh? No way. Want to try it. There's Dink over Stink Catfishing. How you doing?
Hey, Dink over Stink. Thanks for coming in. First off, I did want to tell you I did get a couple of answers to your questions about Ancient Mariner. I talked to Captain. Captain Spiro, and as far as the warranty, like most places, you have to pay for warranty shipment back to him, but he will repair the reel if it's broken, and then ship it back to you at his cost. And that's how that warranty part works. The other question you asked, you were talking about interchangeable parts for Ming Yang reels in Ancient Mariner reels. He said you can use Ming Yang parts in Ancient Mariner reels, but the parts he uses are not the same parts that they use in the Ming Yangs. So hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any other, just shoot me an email at timsnaggandwhiskers@gmail.com, and I'll see if I can get your questions answered for you.
And Mr. Stan said, boom, boom, you hit 20 people in chat.
What? Thank you all so much. That's awesome. I was hoping to get some fish or some bait in here before the sun went down, but it is not looking promising.
Oh, you must be in Eastern time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm like, man, the sun is like still way up for me.
Yeah, the sun, actually, there's some clouds. Maybe I can turn around and show you a little bit. There's a... So there's upriver.
It's a pretty view.
Absolutely. And it is beautiful out here. Just the rain just came through and it cooled it off. So
man, I can't stand all these people that keep saying they get rain.
Now, I will say it did not rain hard. It rained, it sprinkled or, rained for maybe about 4 to 5 minutes, and that was it.
Man, I was about to say our cracks here are as big as a Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught, before I came out here, Danny Stone had a live, and he was in a creek just outside of town that there was only one deep hole left on that creek, and there was a ton of fish. I mean, I think he pulled out, I think by the time he cast that cast net, maybe 5 or 6 times, I think he pulled out 30 or 40 shad.
Oh, wow. Well, I got a tank here. It's not on this property where I'm at now. It's at the end of the pasture on the other side. But that's where I get all my bullfrogs, and everything that I can listen to. And I just really enjoy listening to them at night and stuff. Well, that tank is completely dried up.
Oh, wow.
So I don't get my bullfrogs, and I want my bullfrogs back. Mr. James says, where I fish is a spillway on Ohio River and usually loaded with shad and moon eye. Throw out a cast net. So throw out a cast net, be so full, barley be able to pull it back in, but not one shad all year.
Wow. I will say, I think I've got a shad. One of my bobbers on my net is bouncing right now, but I'm going to let it sit in there for 5 minutes, see what we got.
Yep. Fishing for Whisker said it's storming bad right there. Well, I did have a couple of days ago, the 14th, we had some storms south of us, and I didn't get any of it here, but I got those high winds, and I had that tree fall on my house.
Oh, I heard about that. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're okay. Everything get fixed?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling you, I can't win for losing.
I've had those days.
I finally get, right down to where, I'm supposed to be so I can finally move, and then something else pops up. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, man.
Like, man, I just can't win. It'll
Yeah,
happen, Will. It'll happen. I'm staying positive.
there you go. That's the best thing you can do.
Well,
What's that,
and
Shed?
over there, I've got around where you'd actually live at. There's pine trees, so those aren't going to be bad. This one was like a 60-plus-year-old oak tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's about a good 3 feet in diameter, or
Right.
2.5 maybe.
Yeah, I remember there was a hurricane that came through Virginia. We caught of course, the western edge of it, and I lived in a neighborhood where, the house I lived in, I was able to go out on the front porch, but I was still surrounded by brick. So I went out and sat on the front porch as this hurricane blew through and the wind was blowing. And I looked across the street, and our neighbor across the street had a 30-foot tree near their driveway, and it was swaying back and forth. And then eventually, I knew it was going to go, and eventually it fell across their yard. Luckily, it didn't hit their house.
Yeah, that was very fortunate. Yeah, I wish it would have blown the opposite direction. That would have been very helpful.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Dustin fishes the mighty James River right here in Virginia. That is an awesome spot there, Dustin. That's where we finally found shad a couple weeks ago. I can't believe you didn't get any by the ramp.
Yeah, I went to 3 different spots, Stan, and nothing. But my bobbers are bobbing here. So, matter of fact, the one's underwater. So, oh no, I think there's bobbing on the other side too. We might be in luck. I only brought 3 rods out tonight. Of course, the Ancient Mariner rods. We like to go. Ancient Mariner is our sponsor. AncientMarinerFishing.com. Great rods and reels. We love their rods. They have. He has the Ancient Mariner Challenger rod that now comes the foam. Let me pull one out real quick. For those of you that aren't familiar with their rods, the foam now comes in the same color as the reels.
Oh, wow.
So, and then it's not just the foam. If you go up and you look at the eyes, the eye wraps are the same color as well.
Oh, those are sharp.
And look at the eye. I mean, that thing is solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's thick. And the Ancient Mariner reels come in many different colors. I mean, pink, orange, purple, blue, black, gold. And he's got he doesn't have camo, unfortunately, but I'm sure
carries my camo.
But I'm sure I might be able to ask him to see if that might be something he's interested in doing. But anyway, the Challenger rod is a 7'6". Ours are all medium heavy because we fish on the James, and we might pull in a 120, 130 pound blue cat at some point. And plus, I like a little backbone. Excuse me, I like a lot of backbone with my rods. I like to know, that if I hook a big fish, I like to know that if I'm the way I feel, I'm going to be able to pull that thing in. Again, but that's just us. But go ahead.
Mr. James wants to know, how much do the reels cost? I guess
the reels are $85. Baitcasters, they come in left or right-handed, and they come with a power handle. They're $85, and like I said, they have a lifetime warranty. So if anything ever happens to the reel, the worm gear goes out, something breaks in the internal mechanisms, if you feel mechanically inclined enough, you can just contact him. He'll send you the parts. You can do it yourself. Make a signature series Becca Mud Tramp rod.
In camo.
In camo. But if something happens to the reel, if you, like I said, if you feel mechanically inclined enough, he will send you the parts at his cost, and you can fix it, or you can pay for the shipping to have the reel shipped back to him, and he will repair it and ship it back to you at his cost.
If you do talk to him, specifically the Max 4 design, the Max 4 camo.
Max 4, okay. I'll see
Uh-huh.
if I can remember that.
I'd buy a few of those.
Yeah, we love these reels. I mean, it's I actually saw it the first time on Dieter Melhorn's channel, and he has what's called his one. I don't know if you've seen it, Pinky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Pinky I think has its own Facebook page. Everybody that goes fishing with Dieter Melhorn wants to get a picture with Pinky. And he's taken that thing. He's beaten that thing up. He's taken it shark fishing. He caught sharks with it. And he had to replace the worm gear one time after, you know how much Dieter goes fishing, but he had to replace the worm gear in it. And, Captain Spiro sent him the gear, and Dieter did a video about how to pull the old gear out, put the new one in, and voila, it was fixed.
I do actually have a custom fishing rod that is in Muddy Girl camo.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Brian B, the champ is in here.
Hey there, Mr. Brian.
Coming in to view our live, trying to catch some bait before Midnight Madness is tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Midnight to 5? Midnight to 8. I can't remember the times.
Wow, that's a long time to fish. I would do it, but I think tonight's the.
Look at that sunset behind you hitting that water like that. Is that not beautiful?
I tell you, I love it. I could sit out here, not catch a fish, and just enjoy the scenery.
And the water's kind of calm out there, and
the water is very calm right now, and the tide's going out. And like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you caught it, but it's weird because the current has not been flowing all that much. Like Stan and I were talking about it last week. Like, blue cats love current, but one of the things that we found is there's not been a lot of current in the James lately, at least upriver. I don't know about downriver. I know last time we went downriver, we had the trolling motor maxed out at 10, and it was struggling to keep us in place.
Yeah, Mr. Brian said it's midnight to 5 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Technically, it's not my midnight, so.
Yeah, which I was watching Jody. I was watching Jody's tournament the other night, and Snake River was fishing in Idaho, I think, and everybody else was dark, and Idaho was still full of sun.
Now, Mr. Brian, he says, I'm about to take a nap so I can function. Is that really going to help you now? Just asking. Or what do people say? I'm asking for a friend. What everybody always says.
That's funny.
So how long do you normally leave the gill net out before you go check it?
It depends. I like to leave it out for 5 to 10 minutes if the shad are in the area. If I'm seeing them bouncing, if I see it bounce, I'll probably pick it up within 5 minutes. But because I haven't seen much action, I'll leave it out 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on if I see the bobbers bounce, I may leave it out another 10, 15 minutes just to see if I can get some more.
Mr. Brian says, yeah, it'll help. I'm sure it will. Hey, what do you remember what earpiece you have? What the brand is or whatever for your Bluetooth or your earpiece?
Oh, you're not talking about my AirPod. You're talking about the microphone set I have.
Yeah, the one isn't your earpiece? Isn't that attached to your phone so you can hear it better?
Yeah, this is my AirPod.
Yeah, what brand is that?
It's an Apple. It's an AirPod Pro.
Oh, it's an Apple. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I had two of them until I was docking the boat one day and I leaned over the side and my right one fell out.
See, that's what I was getting at. Mine, the ones I use, they've got a wire that attaches. It goes behind your head, but it's they're both attached. You put them in both your ears, but they are attached. And I was wondering because sometimes how when you put your hair up in a ponytail, well, not you, but in a ponytail, or or you got some kind of a hoodie on or something like that, it tends to rub that wire. And so I was thinking about getting some of the wireless ones, but I'm afraid that they'll fall out of my ears.
Yeah, you just got to be cognizant of what you're doing. I really wasn't paying attention. I should not have had it in my ear at that time because it was a little windy. The waves were moving. I just pulled myself away from the bobber, the float. The waves were. Oh, hello. The waves were going. I should have just took it out of my ear and put it in the case, but I was a little stressed because I was trying to get docked and get everything taken care of. Just like now, I probably shouldn't have had it in my ear leaning over the boat like that, but
that's just what I'm afraid of. So, when you said you have those snaps, out there, have you ever thought, I mean, it's a little more work, but have you ever thought about just putting a piece of duct tape over them? Like if you're going to be doing this right here?
That has never crossed my mind, but that's a great idea. Because one of the things that happens is like this net, when I let it out, it gets caught on the snaps. So that's one of the worst parts about doing this net by myself on this boat.
Well, I just thought about that because then all you got to do is just take it, just take the duct tape, because you won't need much. Just take it off when you get done.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I might try that. Tape it up before I leave the house. Now, when we're on Sean's boat, that's not that big of a deal because he's got a John boat, and it's a smaller size, and it's not as deep as my boat.
Where's all the fish?
That's a great question. I know it was bouncing a minute ago, and nothing.
I was really hoping you'd have had quite a few of them in there.
It was bobbing. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not seeing any slime. I mean, there are some holes in the net, but they're not that big.
Are you going to try putting it out again?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually going to probably back up a little bit, and I don't think anybody's in this cove right here. So I'm going to drape it across the cove. I'm going to go back a little bit here though. If Stan's in here, I need him to tell me where he caught his today because I thought I knew, but no such luck.
Mr. Stan, are you still in here? I know we've gone down to 14.
Hey, I'm still stoked we had 20.
Yeah, we'll see if Mr. Stan's still in here.
Sorry, let me put you up here. I don't want to tip you over. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to fall in the water.
Yeah, I can't afford a new phone right now. I don't know if you saw my latest short that we did. I went and bought. I caught a whole bunch of bluegill out at a local lake, and I put them in my bait tank, and I lowered the camera into the bait tank and moved it around. It was pretty cool watching my GoPro go underwater. All right, this is a good place.
Was that the one that you did? It was like, I don't know, it was like almost a week ago, 5 or 6 days ago, something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Mr. Stan's still in here.
Okay. I remember when Stan brought us out to show us how to do this, we dropped the gill net in a second location, and it was the gill net at some point started moving, kind of like it did just a little bit ago. I don't know if you saw it when I went to pull it out earlier, but the whole net was moving. And when we finally got it untangled from the pylon that the fish had wrapped it around, we saw the slime of huge catfish had got in the net and was dragging it. And the first thing it did is went for that pylon and went between the steel girders of the pylon and wrapped the net all up in there.
Oh, wow. Hey there, Mr. Mike. There's Mr. Mike Costello Outdoors in the house.
Hey, Mike, thanks for coming in. We are bait fishing right now, a count of 0. But hopefully this next drop will give us some luck. Oh, great. I'm still moving backwards, but slowly. So what are your plans for this evening, Miss Becca?
Oh, I don't know. I really need to go out there and get some more of that tree, but it'll be dark here, after a little while. I kind of just taking a break.
I got you.
I've been going all day. Actually, I just came in from watering the cows, and I got on the computer here and was kind of seeing who all was live and saw you live and thought, well, I'm going to go in there.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate that.
I saw that bait in your title. I was like, I want to see some bait.
I want to see some bait too.
Mr. Mike Costello said it took him 5 hours to catch a fish this morning.
Wow. Yeah, I was watching Mike's live this morning too.
Well, I actually did lay down to try to get a little bit of sleep because I was up on Steve's small town. They were doing the Friday night bites up there, and it was him and Mr. Rustic and CBA and John Euler. They were all up there, and that live stream lasted almost, it might have actually hit 10 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I think I jumped on it about, 3 hours in or something, 4 hours. So I stayed on that thing for like 6 hours up there. But it's a lot of fun. As I said, I like being up on panel. We can have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Mike said he appreciates you. Mr. Mike said that he appreciates you coming into his buddy.
Absolutely. I love watching. Sometimes, to my wife's dismay, I love watching fishing YouTubes. Either lives or videos. So I'll stay up and watch Jody's live on Thursday nights from 10 a.m. to 2 or 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and it's gotten to the point where my wife will come up and she'll like, all right, I tried to go to Jody's channel, but it wasn't on yet.
Does she like to go out and fish with you?
She does. She does enjoy fishing. We haven't been out together as of late, just her and I. So our anniversary is in May, which of course is the start of the spawn around here.
You mean y'all didn't plan that better?
I know. We should have thought about that when we planned our wedding.
I'm sure that was the first thing on her mind.
Absolutely, right? Let me get my anchor light up real quick while I tell this story. But we, not last year, but not this year, but I think it was last year. We took the boat out. We went downriver and we spent all day fishing.
Oh, that must have been a nice time.
It was fantastic. I mean, just me and her out on the water, beautiful day. It was a little warm, but we got a bimini cover, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But no, I caught a 28-pound blue cat that day too. That was my PB so far, or that was my PB on a blue cat.
Oh, wow. And that's the most special, is just to spend the time together.
Absolutely.
Something that you'll remember here in 20 years.
Yes, ma'am. My bobber's bobbing. I think I might have something. I said that last time too, though. But it's going pretty constantly. Part of me wants to go pick it up real quick to see what's in it, and then drop the net back down.
This time it's the real bobber, not the fake one.
Right. Exactly. But it's in the middle of the net too, not on the end. Yeah, there's definitely some marks down here. My fear is if I leave it too long, then whatever's in there will get out. But the gill net is designed so it gets in there to the gills and it can't get out. But I guess if you let it go long enough, and there's shad swimming all around my boat. I can see them.
I remember watching those episodes. I don't know if you ever watched that show called Alone.
Mm-mm.
It's like a reality show, but it's where, now I don't know how much is real, how much is, who knows, but where they pick you up and they drop you off at, there's whatever location they're going to be at. They have like 10 people. They drop each person within, I think it's like 5 miles. Like they can't be within 5 miles of like another contestant. I mean, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Like they'll maybe do Alaska, or they'll do up in the upper, somewhere's up in Canada, stuff like that. Anyway,
wow.
Yeah, and you're totally alone out there. The only thing you have is you can take one picture with you, and you have to take all the camera equipment because the whole time you're out there, you have to video yourself. And
wow.
Anyway, they do, they're allowed to take, I think, 10 items with them. No rifles or anything like that. But, and you're basically out there, and whoever survives out there the longest, wins. I think it's $500,000.
Oh, wow.
And so, But anyway, you see a lot of them that use these gill nets out there on that show, because that's the way that that's one of the main ways that a lot of them get food, because you have to get your own food while you're out there.
Right. Yeah,
it's a neat show.
That's interesting, because I've seen, I watched a show one time, something about Alaska, and this guy went and dropped a gill net under the ice. So he had to maneuver it a certain way. Oh, yep, I got something in here.
Oh, sweet.
It may just be one right now, but I felt something.
That ain't something, though.
Hopefully it's a shad and not a catfish. I still feel it. It's in here somewhere, unless it swum out. You got to be kidding me. It was just shaking.
It wiggled its way loose.
Nope, there it is.
Oh.
It's you son of a gun. It's a striper.
Oh no.
So last time I was out here, I caught a flathead.
I just imagine, can y'all even use stripers for bait?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't think so. I used to compete in striper tournaments. Oh, there's Mr. Stan. Mr. Stan, I didn't know I think you had already left and now you're back. He was asking you, where should he go to catch bait now, since he's tried twice now and has only got this one little striper? Is there a certain place he needs to go to?
I hope I don't get this. I'm trying to get this thing out of the net before I kill it.
LKA Life says, I love that show Alone. So yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, all the stuff that they do. As I said, I'm not really sure how much of it is if if anything goes on like behind the scenes. I don't think it does, but I don't watch a lot of reality stuff, but I do like that show alone. Let's see. He says, Two Stand says, no, we can use most other game fish. Oh, no. He was just saying, no, we can use most other game fish, but got to use them whole. He was
Yep.
when I asked you about the striper. Now he says, let me think, like where you could go.
So here's.
Yeah, that's a pretty one. Hey there, big boy. How you doing?
He's gonna go back before he dies.
Yeah, they're not good out too long. Not stripers.
Yeah, I saw Jody the night that I was reeling in my 42 pounder. She reeled in the 31-pound striper.
Yeah, I always enjoyed. I love the fight they make. When you're catching them.
Yeah, my wife we had some cut bait. We were just down the river from here, well, just upriver from here, and she was reeling it in, and lo and behold, she had probably about a 7-pound striper on cut bait.
And Mr. Stan, if you need me to drop the StreamYard link, I can do that. If you want to come up here, if you can think of a place or whatever and tell them instead of having to type it all in. Sometimes it's easier. Well, it sure don't take long to get dark, though, does it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
You can try just back around the point.
Okay, that back by the channel marker?
He said yes. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to drop the link for him.
Okay.
He said he's going to come up here.
All right, cool.
Oh, crap. I can't drop the link. I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking. I'm not blue on here, so I can't. So you'll have to drop it for him.
Okay, I can do that. I will. Yeah. I'll definitely make you a moderator.
You don't have to. I wasn't even thinking.
Oh, I know, but there we go.
Okay. There you go, Mr. Steen.
I'm going to put my Compex light up here pretty soon.
The shallows between the point and the channel marker will usually have a couple.
Okay. I just love coming out here at nighttime sometimes when I'm fishing. I just started dragging baits in my boat. It's not as easy without a trolling motor, but right now it's so calm out here. It's like, I think it's 71 degrees. The wind there's a slight breeze when you're moving. The water's calm. The sun's setting. It's just a beautiful night.
He said, I'll be right there.
Okay. We're going to be over by the mayor's house, by Stan's house. That's what we call the power plant.
Hey there, Mr. John. There's Mr. Smallwater Charters in the house.
Smallwater, thanks for coming in, John. Appreciate it. Back up to 14 awesome people. It's 9 o'clock at night on a beautiful Saturday evening here in Richmond, Virginia on the mighty James River. Trying to unsuccessfully, thus far, catch some bait.
I forgot Mr. James said up here. He says where he lives that any game fish that he catches or they catch on a rod and reel can be used for cut bait or live bait as long as they
Oh
catch it on
wow,
a reel. Yeah.
it's crazy that they have that stipulation because how is the game warden going to know?
Maybe because of the hook, the hook puncture wound or the hook wound, hook
I
puncture
guess.
in his lip, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to tell. But yeah, it's weird. One of the things that like Sean and I were talking about before is we can't keep hickory shad. Those are against the law to keep when you catch them in a gill net. You have to throw them back. But the thing is, if you get a hickory shad in your net and you don't know it, you pull all the shad into the boat and you go to you finally get it out of the net. You go to throw it back and it's dead. You still got to throw it back. You can't use it.
Yeah. Or maybe, maybe they tell just by also if they just catch you out there doing it, if
Yeah,
they catch you out there
that's
throwing a net.
yeah, that's probably more like what the game wardens probably do. Because I mean, it would be hard if somebody came up here and said, "You catch us on a rod and reel." Now, if I didn't have any rods with me, and I said yes, then. But if I said no, I caught all these on a rod and reel. They wouldn't have any way to verify.
Yeah, because I mean, anything that C could have snagged something and tore a little hole in his lip.
Right.
Anything could happen. So they'd have to physically catch you doing it.
Right. Yeah, but it's just crazy that you can, like Danny Stone was talking. If it was legal, people would abuse the privilege. I see your point. I really do see your point. I mean, it's kind of like, the locks on your door is going to keep an honest person out, right? So that law was made to keep the honest people honest.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I just can't get over how beautiful it is out here.
I now hear all the bugs and all that on the. I love listening to the crickets and I love all the night sounds.
Yeah. I'm from Colorado originally, and you get a lot of night sounds out there.
I get them over there at my place in Arkansas all the time. And I got a tank on my property over there. So I get the frogs and the, everything. And I love, listening to the critters as they go, rustle through the leaves and, just the ground.
Right. Can you see me okay still?
I mean, we can see the outline of you. We know you're wearing a light colored shirt.
Yeah, I wanted to. Our shirts that I make are blue, but I wanted to try something different, so I made one in white. So I made our with the blue, the royal blue on the lettering.
Yeah, it won't be too much longer, and you'll be completely a dark screen. But
yeah, I got a solution for that.
Mr. John says you should hear the sounds in the swamp down here. Some I have no clue what they are. I know. I've been in swamps before. It always reminds me of the movie Anaconda. All of a sudden you hear them all out there, then they get real. Everything just goes silent, And you're thinking, I think, okay, where's that big old snake?
Yeah, my speaking of snakes, my dad when I was younger used to do like presentations and stuff for like Boy Scouts and kids and stuff with rattlesnakes. So we would go out. We would go out and catch rattlesnakes, and he'd put them in a metal container in the house, and one time we were out, we caught a bull snake. It was
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? In case y'all didn't know, he's got himself muted right now. There you go.
Thank you for telling me. I thought when I hung up the call that it unmuted me.
I thought maybe some music or something was playing. I wasn't sure.
Oh no, I'm on call for my job, and I just got a phone call, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to pop out here in just a second. But anyway, what I was saying was I had this 6 or 7 foot long bull snake, and I fell asleep with it. And when I woke up, it was laying between me and the couch. So it was in the crevice between me and the couch, just laying there sleeping.
Oh wow, man! I had a rattler send me to the ER once, so I don't really care for rattlesnakes.
Yeah, rattlesnakes. Yeah, like I said, my dad and I used to go out and catch them because he would do presentations where he would milk them. My dad had a fascination with rattlesnakes when I was a kid growing up. He still does. I mean, he actually went to what's called the Rattlesnake Roundup. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's out in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we got one down here west of Fort Worth that they do that as well.
My dad actually got to go in and lay in a sleeping bag full of rattlesnakes. I'm like, you are nuts.
How did he not get bit?
I guess if you're not aggressive towards them, and they don't sense any danger, just like any other animal. They're only going to attack if they feel like they're in danger. So just nice and calm and easy, you should be good. But I mean, people do it all the time. Now, I did hear of a guy recently, over the last year or two, that died because he got bit by a rattlesnake at a rattlesnake roundup.
Could you imagine being in there in that sleeping bag or whatever with all them, and then all of a sudden you had to sneeze?
No, I could not.
I mean that would do it right there.
Absolutely, that would startle me too.
Mr. John says snakes are made for fancy boots, nothing else.
Well, they do keep the rat populations down.
Yeah, they do. That's why I like, I don't mind these, these little garden snakes out here because they're good for the little critters. Or some call them rat snakes, I guess. Garden snakes, rat snakes.
Right.
Now I do know if they bit, like it was probably I guess it's been about 6 months ago now, where I was walking down the pasture and I stepped over this big old log. Actually, it was a big old telephone pole. We had it as a dirt break, but I stepped over it and it was night. It was like, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was wearing flip flops, which I know is stupid already, but I needed to take a walk. And anyway, I stepped over that thing and I stepped right on a snake and it bit me on the top of my foot. But I knew it wasn't a rattler or a poisonous snake because I was able to get back from down there to back up at the house without dying. So,
right. That's a pretty good indication.
Yeah. So, but man, that sucker was sore for weeks. I would tend to say that snake felt threatened.
I would say so as well.
Okay, Mr. Stan is down in the basement.
There we go.
Hey, and you could do the same thing like you had to Rebecca. There you go. Perfect.
So you two were the first two to ever come up on, well, for me to come up on stream to help me out. So I'm still trying to learn how to use.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Well,
And people see enough of us. So.
That is so true.
Oh, and that was awesome of you, Becca, to come up and help my friend Dustin out here. Let's see. Yeah, so hopefully it's been a weird year. It's been a weird year for finding bait.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna
Very
throw
true,
this-
Mr. John. He said, "How many people get bit by a rat and die? Which is worse?"
This is
Well,
true.
they're good for like barns and the feed though, because if you get rats in your cattle feed and stuff like that, that definitely ain't good. So, for the snakes, the little rat snakes to be out by the barn, that's really good there.
Plus, with those rats, they can carry those little fleas and what's those other little bitty bugs that they have a lot of them on.
Yeah,
they're
they have diseases.
Yeah, it's really bad for. But yeah, you should be right about in the right spot there, Dustin. I think you should get a couple there. It's been tough. Usually they're pretty easy to find, like the area that Dustin's been in. Like this morning we got, I think, we got like 9 or 10 in just a couple minutes, right across from the ramp. But that's that area where he's at right now is usually got some shad in there.
Yeah, this is my first time dropping the net in this area, and my first time dropping the net at nighttime. I'm used to doing it by myself, but after I drop this net, I'm going to have to jump out for a minute, if you don't mind staying in here.
Sure.
And then I'll take care of this call so that I really appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me.
Oh, without a doubt, congratulations on passing 20 people out in chat tonight.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. You take the little victories where you can get them, right?
There you go. And with the gill net, we're allowed to use them here on the James River, where Dustin's at, because it's a tidal river. So it's part of. It's technically a saltwater net license that you have for the gill net. And so yeah, we're allowed to use the gill net to catch certain baits.
Do y'all put up little signs on the gill net that say, "Hey, wait a minute, you can't come in. You're not the right kind of bait"?
That would be nice.
Exactly. That's what it is. What the way that you do that, the way that you can kind of control what you catch in there is the size of the netting. So if you notice, like on that net, the size of the holes in the net are, I think it's 2 3/4 inches or 2 1/4 inches, something like that. But it's a certain net size that you are allowed to use, and that way it's specific sized fish usually that you catch in there.
Hey, I'm going to jump out for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we can. We've done this before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, this brings back memories.
Yeah. So let's see. We got small water out there. How's it going? Then that two stance guy's just running his mouth in chat out there. So I heard you say that you had a tree fall on the house, huh?
Yeah. It's
My
always
goodness.
so.
You've got that one kind of luck. Unfortunately, it's all bad.
What luck.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I was in here in the living room when it happened, and I heard this big. I can't even describe it. It sounded like a big old fly swatter,
Uh-huh.
like a tree-sized fly swatter,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Unbelievable.
Right when it's like, why couldn't it have waited just like one more month to do that? Why did it have to do it on my watch? Or
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, man. Well, that's just how it goes. When you have that kind of luck, that's what just happens. But the good thing about that is that eventually that luck goes the other way, and then it's a bunch of great things happening at one time. Eventually.
I hope so, because I need something else. It's that same tree that the one particular, it was about a 7 to 10 inch diameter limb that broke that time when I was bending over picking up one of the cows' water troughs.
Yeah, that was last
That's
year sometime, right?
Yeah, it was probably about 8 months ago or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, 10. Yeah, that's that same tree.
Oh my gosh.
It's evil. It's evil.
Well, at least it's down now, right? It's done. It's over. It can't cause no more damage.
Well, actually, there's still a part of the tree that's still standing.
Oh my goodness. Well, I would gas and match that sucker. It'd be done.
I don't know if it got hit by lightning or what, but it just like split in half. And so I'm not just saying we didn't get those storms here, but we did get those high winds. So, and sometimes lightning will, it can be a distance out. So I'm not really sure. But yeah, it did. It like split. And I do know that some lightning hit a tree in my front yard once because it did split it down the center, not all the way down the whole tree, but it got the top probably third of it. And that happened in my front yard. This one happens to be it was right here at the corner of the house over here in the back. But it's okay.
In the northern and your colder states, well, you're Arkansas, so they get colder over there. But in the colder states, we get that a lot in the wintertime with freezing temperatures. You get a lot of rain. And then it goes from like that 30 whatever degrees down to 20 something. So that rain and slush, then it kind of freezes. And if there was any cracks in trees and that gets in there and then freezes, and it will shoot cracks down the tree. And then the extra weight from all that rain and slush that froze, and you'll get your trees snapping over. That in the north, that's what we had a lot when I lived in New York.
Yeah, I won't be northern Arkansas gets colder. It's kind of like Missouri and all that. Yep. It actually gets, but I'll be in southern, so I'll get roughly almost about the same weather as I get here.
Okay.
It'll be similar kind of to what I get here, just different. It'll just feel a little different. But I can't wait.
Yeah, poor Dustin. He gets a lot of these, never free time. It's on call a lot. So he gets a lot of these calls like this coming in, and
Yeah, when you're on call, you got to take them too.
yeah, he was getting calls when he was nice enough. Just Dustin and Sean, both of them awesome people. They drove me up to the meet and greet at the Potomac River. They live in the area of me anyhow. We live pretty close to each other. And Dustin was nice enough, picked me up, drove me up there, and drove me back home. So.
Oh wow! I was just sitting here looking at the my little news feed. I didn't even hear about this. That the former NASCAR driver was fatally stabbed at a gas station.
Holy smokes!
Driver Bobby East. Wow. Hey, did you hear about that thing? I was talking about it last night, but this guy went to a garage sale, and while he was at this garage sale, he noticed underneath this table there was a whole bunch of baseball bats down there underneath, and he saw one of them in particular that looked a little bit thinner, in diameter than the other ones. And so he picked it up and everything, and the woman had a price of $1 on it. Hey there, Mr. Dan, how you doing? So anyway, she had $1 on it. Well, he started looking at that thing, and he said he kind of, I don't know, he just got this feeling over him. And he asked that woman, he said, "Hey, you got a pencil?" And she said, "Yeah." And so she went and got a pencil. Well, he rubbed that pencil lead over the bat. I guess apparently you can see if something is like etched into it or whatever, if it's got some kind of writing. Anyway, that was a Jackie Robinson bat.
Holy smoke.
Back from the 40s. And
wow.
he said that he wouldn't feel right if he would have like bought that for $1, because it's obviously worth a lot more. And so he told the woman about it, and she said, "Yeah, it's no longer under the table; it's in the house." But then the article went on to say that then you think, well, how did she come about this? Well, her uncle, I don't remember his name, but her uncle used to play on the team with Jackie Robinson back in the 40s.
Wow.
And so that's how, she would have ended up with it. And here she was going to have it in this, garage sale out there for $1.
Yeah. It's amazing. And those, with eBay and all the things like that, that's becoming more and more rare. Hey, Dan, what's up? That's becoming more and more rare, but they're still out there. It's funny. It's crazy. You'll hear people finding first run books and old records and things like that.
Hey, Dan, well, thanks for coming in. I'm back, folks. I still got to take care of the call. I just didn't want to leave y'all hanging too long. I think my bobbers are bouncing, so I might have something again. I don't know.
It's usually a good sign.
We like those bobbing bouncers. I mean, bouncing bobbers. Let's put that backwards.
But every place that I've set it though so far, the bobbers, I look and they're bouncing. The one place I set it over by the across from the boat ramp, the whole thing actually started moving. And when I went to pull it up, there was nothing there. So I have no idea. And every time the only time that I actually caught something was that striper I just caught in the net. But the bobber is still bouncing. The bouncing is still bobbering. Yep, it's still there. So whatever's there is in the net. So we're going to leave the net here for a few more minutes. I really appreciate y'all staying up here with me and handling that while I had to take care of that call.
Oh, no problem. There was another story too that there was a hidden self-portrait by Vincent van Gogh that was discovered by an X-ray machine.
I heard about that.
Yeah. It was found covered in layers of like glue and cardboard and everything on the backside of a completed work.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I'd love to come across something like that. You know, that's just one of those things that Mr. Dan, he's not technically out fishing per se. He's trying to catch bait, and the only thing so far that he's gotten is a little striper.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Here
sir.
you good.
I had to take my AirPod out. It died.
Yeah, Mr. Dan says I buy from real estate sales from estate sales to keep and resell. It bites that they don't get the value, but good for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, a lot of times, I mean, you know, people, they sell the stuff that you don't go out and think, yeah, you're going to find this stuff. That one particular man, he just happened to know. And I don't know, I guess he just kind of felt bad for, he didn't want to sit there and because he
Right.
knew, it's a lot of times you pick something, then you go home and look at the value of it.
And sometimes the people, it's funny, sometimes the people still don't care. They just want to sell it, and they'll still get rid of it.
Oh, you should have seen how much stuff I threw in the dumpsters.
Yeah.
Honestly, I should have sold it, but I don't know. It was hard enough just to get rid of the stuff anyway.
Yeah.
It's like I can't imagine somebody else having my folks' stuff. But I did donate some of the stuff, to the like different like little charity type stuff, places that need that kind of stuff.
There was saw a lady the other day. There's a Christian Ministries hospital and doctor's office around here, and her brother had passed, so she brought in all of his medical supplies. He had diabetes and some other things. She donated all this, which is very cool. It's hard to it's a hard thing to deal with the passing, but then to at least something good came out of it. She donated all these medical supplies that helped a lot of people. So
yeah, because if you've got extra needles or stuff they're not going to give medicines, but if you've got needles or test strips or anything like that.
I never realized how expensive some of that stuff is.
Oh, it's very costly. Mr. Dan says he bought from a sale in Texas, paid $20 for a big computer armoire and desk chair, sold the armoire for $125, and the chair is a $1,300 Herman Miller chair that he hadn't sold yet.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, when you're doing that stuff, it helps to know a little bit about everything because you never know what you're going to find. And it with Google and stuff the way it is now, it's kind of a blessing and a curse because now everybody can search up what prices of things are, and so it's harder to find those deals, but they're still out there.
And you can Google them right there on that property while you're standing there holding that item, so nobody else can get it. I was surprised when I used to do eBay, a lot of it. I always specialized in antique toys and antique or vintage jewelry and a few other items. Well, I couldn't believe how much people, I don't know if it's just women or if it's men too, but they loved jewelry with fruit on it. I'm thinking, who would want to wear jewelry with fruit on it? But for some reason, that is a big thing. Hey there, Mr. Matt. How you doing? Mr. Stonefly 71's in the house.
Hey, Stonefly. How you doing, buddy?
Stonefly, deuces.
Yeah, that is true too, Mr. Matt. He goes, and you go to yard sales and people think that they'll get what it's going for on eBay or
Yeah.
or what they originally paid for it. You know. Yeah. I bought a $1,300, bedroom suit. I want that same 1,300, and no, you don't, that doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah, I'll go to get it at the store if I'm going to spend that much.
I'm still with
You
you.
know-
I'm still drifting around my gill net. I think the bobber's still going, so I think whatever's there is in there.
That's good.
Just trying to take care of this call I got at the same time.
Yeah, so for anybody that's out in chat right now that's not sure what's going on on the James River, at least the lower half of it where Dustin's at, it's a tidal river, so we're allowed to use gill nets. You're only allowed to use, I think it's 100 foot is the longest you can have. You got to stay within, I think, 100 yards of it. It has to be in sight. There's, rules and regulations, and you're allowed to use it for bait fish only. You're not allowed to keep the other fish that you catch in it. They're supposed to be put back.
Yeah, back.
And Dustin is out there getting bait to fish stand day tomorrow morning. He's been fishing that the past few weeks. We do cats and carp on there, and you can tell that it's been spawned for catfish because carp has actually won like the past 3 or 4 weeks in a row. There's been way more carp caught than
Yes,
way more carp.
Second, 2 or 3 weeks in a row now.
Yeah. Dustin says he's going to stop hanging out with me with this second place curse. Let me see. I saw a question there. Stonefly, if you just hit my email, 2standsfishing@gmail.com, and I can give you my contact information and everything there. It's just my channel name, the number 2, standsfishing@gmail.com. That goes for anybody that's out there. You ever need to get a hold of me, that's probably the easiest way. Unless we're friends on the devil Facebook.
Everybody says some bad things about Facebook. I've never had anything happen on mine, but I hear a lot of stuff. Of course,
what I've been seeing a lot lately, Becca, is a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook Messenger. They've been getting hacked, where I'll get a Facebook message from them, and it'll be something strange like, "Hey, is this you in this picture?" And it's got a link. If somebody ever does that to you, don't ever click it. Check back with them to make sure, because a lot of times you get something that's going around where their Facebook accounts are being hacked, and it'll send that out like as a group. It'll send it to everybody in their contacts. I don't know what they do with the information, and I think it just goes on to where that next person is hacked, and that sends out. But yeah, I haven't.
A couple of those.
Yeah, Mike Sampson got hacked recently, and they sent me, like, I friended him on Facebook, then right away sent me a, "Hey, are you interested in doing so and so?" I'm like, "Sampy, that's not you."
Yeah. Yep. Like I'm old school. I'm the old man. I didn't believe in it. Before I started doing YouTube, I was like, the Facebook, and I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Well, I just started mine, here for this YouTube stuff, basically.
Exactly. That was the only reason I did it, and then you get kind of going with it, and you're like doing all these other things, and
Yeah, I don't put none of my family or anything on there.
Yeah, I don't do much on Facebook except for I use Facebook Messenger to chat with people that I know and to reach out to people on YouTube.
Of course.
What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and just basically I try to communicate with people on YouTube through Facebook Messenger if I don't have their email addresses.
And my granddaughters have recently informed me that I've got to get the gram now. Apparently, everything is Insta.
I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I don't have any of that. So
yeah, I don't have any of that either. I know Sean has Instagram, and he posts stuff from Team Snag and Whiskers on his Instagram page, and then I do the same thing for when we have videos and stuff, or if I'm going to be on stand day or whatever, I'll post it on my Facebook page as Team Snag and Whiskers so that people know.
yeah, it's like Mr. Matt just said he only has email and YouTube. He doesn't have no TikTok, no IG, no Twitter. It amazes me how fast those people they get. I looked at Twitter once and I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't follow it. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Like it is a whole.
Yeah, it goes like 100 different directions somehow.
I know, and you try to click back to see what the comment was before that one, and you can't get there. And yeah, I get all confused over there myself.
Yeah, I was like, forget that.
Yeah, I have a TikTok filter, and that's called my wife. So she'll go on TikTok and find all the funny ones and save them for me, and then I'll
Mr. Dan says I might get Instagram when I'm able to really turn out more artwork, but that's all I'll use it for. Now that would be a good purpose. I mean, because you do reach a lot of people, especially if you're going to sell stuff.
I can't get my light to stay straight because all the wake's causing it to keep turning. I'm gonna go pull the net up and see what I got bobbing in here.
Yes, I got good feelings. Good feelings. Is the boat traffic slowed down any out there?
Yeah, I just had one pass me, but they were going fairly slow. I had a Cuddy cruiser pass me earlier, the ones that go like 20 miles an hour, the back end buried, that put a 2-foot wake out.
Uh-huh.
And then I was over by the entrance to that place that you and Stan Free were at.
Uh-huh.
And I think that same boat that you guys were worried about came flying out of that entrance.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's crazy right there. It's Becca. It's only like it's a creek off the main. Well, you say a creek, but it's like a second channel that splits back off the river, and it's maybe, I don't know. What do you think, Dustin? Maybe 50 feet wide.
About that, yeah.
It's not very wide at all, and these boats will come flying up out of there, and it's it's got a little bit of depth in the center, but up on the sides it gets shallow, especially with the tide going up and down. And when we were doing on Friday night, a couple Friday nights ago, where we were doing the benefit for Epic there, getting towards the end of the night, it was around midnight, and this boat came flying down that. Well, I didn't. We're sitting there, Stan 3 and I in our boat, lights on, all the markers, everything you're supposed to have, and I heard voices. Like, all right.
You say
I knew you'd find he says he's got a shad. I knew he'd find a couple there. Come on, few more.
We got many shad.
Ha
Oh, and a blue crab.
There you go. They make great bait too. Yeah, you see them. You see the shad right there in the net.
That's a big old
Awesome,
shad.
awesome. We get them. Stand 3 has caught them up to 20, a little over 20 inches long, which is crazy.
Wow.
Well, it looks like you got bait now, Dustin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because out of that one, what you can probably get, well, and I don't know if y'all really use the tail too much, you'll get at least two sections out of that, maybe 3, depending on the size
Yeah, well,
that you cut it.
right. If you get like a normal average size James River gizzard shad, you cut right behind the gills, get the head piece. Then, depending on how much bait you have and how tall it is, normally you can cut a good 3 or 4 pieces down the side of it. So you get the head piece, and then you get another 3 or 4 pieces. And if you don't have too many, you can actually take and you can cut right above the ribs, so you can get 2 pieces out of that. You get that thick back piece, and you can get the piece on the ribs. So you can get up to about eight pieces or more out of the one shad.
Oh,
I
wow.
got some nice size ones on here too.
Mr. Stonefly, I think it was you. Weren't you the one that was saying that you couldn't have aspartame? Is it just caffeine you can't have, or is it the aspartame that you can't have? Once you tell me that, then I'll let you know something depending on what your answer is. I remember I thought he was saying somebody couldn't have aspartame for like 6 months.
Baja Blast, Mountain Dew.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. And that's a typical size James River gizzard shad right there. That shad right there you can get. Now some of them, like I said, they can get up to 20 inches, and they're about as they look like a football. They're so big. It's crazy. Gizzard shad are normally not that big. Normally a good sized gizzard shad is 11, 12 inches, and in the James River, that is that's just an average size one. And that's what makes, in order to have a huge amount of big fish, you need to have abundant food source. And as you can see right there, that's the James River is filled with those gizzard shad. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding them, but they're beautiful. That is James River catfish candy right there.
Another
Nice size one too.
Day in, day out. Yeah, you cut right behind the gill, and then, like I said, normally you can get another. Yep, you can get another 3 or 4 pieces going straight back. Yep. So you can see how many good sized pieces you can get out of that. Sometimes we'll pull. Go ahead.
Sometimes people will cut the head off, and then they'll cut down this middle section.
Yep.
And then they'll just use the meat chunks, because this is the gut pocket down here.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Matt. I wasn't sure about the caffeine part because you probably know this already, but they do, as far as the aspartame part. Because I remember you saying something about soft drinks or something. Diet Coke actually Coke makes a Diet Coke that is sweetened with stevia. But you have to make sure and watch for the little stevia logo on the bottle or the box, So just an FYI, when you can have caffeine, you said you may have already known that, because my daddy, the aspartame, it made him sick as well, or it gave him headaches, honestly. And so he would buy the Diet Cokes that had the stevia on them when he was wanting something.
Ooh. Now this is gonna be the fun part. I gotta get this crab out of the net.
Yeah, that's a keeper size crab, it looks like.
What I might do is keep this crab and use him for bait tonight.
There you go. I have caught every once in a while. I'll take some smaller catfish. Every rare once in a while, maybe once or twice a year.
Ow! Son of a gun.
Did he get you?
Hey there,
And
Mr. Dale. Hey, Slip. How you doing?
Dale, what's up? Good to see you, Dale.
Hey, Dale. How you doing? Hey, Dale. Hey, Slip. Thanks for coming in.
And when I've cleaned them, I found their bellies filled with small blue crabs.
Hey, let me mute. I got a big, loud boat coming by.
Did you cut the little crabs out of their bellies and use them for bait?
No, they were already pretty digested at that point. That's a nice crab.
Oh. Look, it doesn't. It's not even affecting me, and I still said "ow."
Oh, those blue crabs. They're no joke. You get that gets a hold of you. It'll draw blood.
Well, that's got to take some patience right there.
Yeah, and you see what I was saying about the size of the holes? You can see they're really strict with what size that netting is. And that's how they control what kind of bait you catch in it.
He does not want to let go of this net.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, because he knows what the consequences are going to be if he does.
If you got a
Let go of my
bucket,
towel either.
you got a bucket with water. If you got a bucket
No,
or
but I can
something,
get one.
yeah. If you get a bucket with water, put the water in the bucket and just kind of drop it in there, and he'll think he's back in the water and let go of the net.
Well, that's easy enough.
You going to put that under the book of crab trickery?
What?
We go down. We're probably about an hour away from saltwater. We can go crabbing. I love me some Chesapeake Bay blue crab.
He will not let go of this towel.
Yeah.
Hey there, Mr. Squirrel. How you doing? There's
Squirrel, what's up?
Squirrel.
For those of you that just jumped in, I caught a blue crab in the gill net. I'm trying having a heck of a time getting them out of the gill net.
And we've been talking about this recently. We're noticing, obviously blue crabs, crabs in general can live in brackish type water. Well, where Dustin's at is approximately 100 plus miles from the bay. So there's not a lot of salt up that way, but yet the blue crabs come up there. Mullet come up from the salt water. The other day, a couple weeks ago, Stan 3 and I were out there, and just downriver from where Dustin's at, a dolphin. We actually had a dolphin swim right by the boat, maybe 22 feet from the boat.
Wow.
Was a large dolphin, and it did, the thing where they don't come all the way out of the water, but they do that kind of come up where the top half of them come out of the water, and then they, blow that air out, clear their air hole, and go back down and come back up. Mm-hmm. There's a name for it. I don't remember what that's called, but literally saw it do that. And of course, how much we're live, and the one time that we weren't live out on the water is when we get a dolphin that far up the river. It was close enough. We could have had great footage of it, and we were just out fishing for Stan 3's birthday.
I'm still with you, folks.
We're just
We're
watching.
watching. Yeah. And by the way, happy belated birthday again, Becca.
Oh, thank you.
July is a busy month. A lot of people, a lot of birthdays in July in our YouTube family out there.
Yeah, because we know what all the parents were doing at that time.
Look there. I think you're getting it, Justin.
He won't let
Dustin.
go of the net.
Yep. Yep. If you have something with water, put them in it. He'll pop that right open. Or you might even be able to just set them on the.
Good trick.
Hey, it worked.
He let right. He just let right go. Makes any sense?
Yeah, I've spent a little time on the water.
Thank you, Mr. Squirrel.
Get back to the shad. I still got in the net.
And that is the one thing with the gill net. That's why you've got to be real careful with using it. As you can see, it's called the gill net for a reason. They swim through and their gills get stuck in the net. So if you don't take them out quickly, like with the shad, we don't care. You just want to keep them cold. It doesn't matter if they're alive or not. But when you have bycatch and you're trying to get them back in the water, sometimes it's tough to get them out of it carefully enough without damaging the gills. And see how it's pulling up on the gills right there.
I was saying something about that earlier, Stan. Like, one of the things that baffles me is the rules about hickory shad versus gizzard shad.
Yeah.
Like, if I got a hickory shad that's in the net and I don't know it and he ends up dying, I still got to throw him back.
Yep.
That's just crazy.
Yep. And if you catch it on rod and reel, you're allowed to use hickory shad for bait.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on rod and reel. On rod and reel. Hickory shad is the one we can keep. You can't keep American shad and river herring, your blueback herring and alewives. Those are, if they catch you with those on the boat, there's a fine per fish. That's what you'll see a lot of them patrolling for when it's like April, May, June, when the stripers are up. They're looking for people keeping stripers before season and undersized or oversized, because there's a slot limit on the stripers, so they'll charge you per fish.
We were asking that earlier. How can they prove if you caught it on a rod and reel or not?
The hole in the lip, or they see you doing it, but usually they won't. If they see that you're doing things the right way and you've got, as long as you've got fish that you're allowed to keep, they really won't get too big in how it was caught if you're allowed to keep them. The main thing they're looking for is the endangered ones, American shad, and the river herrings. In the James River, they are really low in numbers coming through, so that's why they're really protected. So they will be really they'll be really strict on those.
I don't know if you noticed, Stan, but when we used the gill net in the past, we've always had it in that blue bucket.
Yeah.
I saw we all had a cooler, so I switched over to a cooler.
If you've got the room for it, the cooler is a lot easier to use. Except for the dang lid's falling, but
yeah, I've got the double lid, which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Dan says that he had dolphins swimming right behind his condo in Pensacola one time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. We love dolphins. But like I said, the weird thing is, 100 plus miles up out of saltwater. That's the That's the strange part. I mean, that's a long way for dolphin to go. And like I said, we've been noticing more and more that the saltwater fish are coming up further and further.
I'll tell you one other thing this gill net does to a white boat. It is filthy. Well, minus this, but all that's mud from the bottom of the river.
And that's what you're looking for, though. For anybody out there that's looking for shad, you find those soft, muddy bottoms, shallow water next to deep water. Those shallow, muddy flats, the gizzard shad just get in there, and that's what they love because they're up there in that muck, eating the muck, the algae, all that kind of stuff in that mucky kind of water.
Well, task A complete.
Yay!
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get to task B, which I was going to, head upriver to try to do some scouting, to see where the fish are this time of year, this time of night. But I don't know that I think it's too late currently. Sorry, I'm still with you. I'm waiting on an email. There it is. But I'm going to go ahead and end this live for right now. I got to take care of a call and get my rods set up, and hopefully I can. I'll use one of these shad and that crab, and I'll see if I can catch us a blue.
Awesome.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and jump down. I'm going to sit there and say toodles, y'all, and I hope everybody has a very blessed night.
Thank you so much, Miss Becca, for coming in. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I'm helping out also, and yes, thank you, Becca. Appreciate you helping out my good friend Dustin here, and all the other people that you help out. Thank you.
Stan, thanks for coming in and telling me where to get on the blue or the shad.
Hey, my brother, anytime. Like I said, and day by day you're getting it. I told you from day one that you're figuring it out, and there's gonna be more monsters coming for you. You're doing awesome, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. Maybe if I get to this call, I'll go live again. If you're still up, you can pop in.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, everybody.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for coming in. We'll talk to you shortly.
I'll see you in the morning if not.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.